We're live. Welcome everybody to Adams Polish's Wednesday live video. I just saw we had a bunch of people in the chat, so hello to everybody in the chat. Today, well, let me be honest. It was supposed to be like 100-mile-an-hour wind today, and XL Energy was going to turn off everyone's power for what would you guys call it? Fire hazard, maybe? Anyways, we made the decision where we have to do something inside because as much as I want to blow you away with the results, we didn't want to get blown away by the wind. So today we have this vintage Mustang, and it's been in our showroom for a little while now. And you know, we were really thinking about it. It's kind of like a car that sits in your garage, you know, and you drive it about, you know, call it 300 days out of the year. But it sits in your garage, and it's one of those things that I kind of wrote in the description, like, you know, if you have a car like this, it's one of your hobbies. So a hobby like this, not only are you wrenching on it, changing the oil, you know, doing all that kind of stuff, but it's also something you come out and to get a little bit of shine therapy, you go and you clean it and wipe it down and do all this stuff to it. So I'm going to do kind of the extended version of the shine therapy session here, which is like really getting it to the nines, which is, I'm not necessarily going to be doing like paint correction or anything like that, but it's more of just coming out, going through some processes to make it look nice. So the next time it's like, you know, like in Denver recently, it's been 65 degrees in December, which is unheard of. So, you know, actually on Sunday, I was out driving around with the family and I saw a ton of classic cars out on the road. And it's just, you know, freakishly warm weather. So like cars are out being driven, and this is kind of an opportunity, like imagine you're in your garage, give it some shine, and then you're ready for the next drive. But something that I think people like to go out in their garage, clean it up a little bit here and there. This isn't necessarily like making it perfect. It's like, it's already at a place where I love the way it looks. It's just more of enhancing it a little bit. I actually, before I get into it, I do want to mention Tyler said before we went live, he said, you know, we're close to the holidays. Why don't we give back to everybody on the live? So at the end of this live video, hopefully you stick around because we're going to give away 5 $50 gift cards. And Chris is in the chat, and he'll just choose 5 random people. And we're going to give away 5 $50 gift cards. So the way we'll do it is whoever wins will just ask for your email, and then we'll send you the gift card through your email. We won't actually send out the actual card. So hopefully you stick around to the end and you have a chance to win $50 Adams Polishes. And listen, you get it today, buy something today, and hopefully it shows up by Christmas. So I'm really pumped that he did that because, you know, we go live almost every week, and, you know, a lot of the people on here are very loyal, you know, from like Anton to Chester to Ken Wilson, Bright Stevenson. There's all kinds of people on here. I've even like met in person, which is really cool. And so, you know, I think it's a cool opportunity to give back a little bit. Chris is monitoring comments. We got Teddy on the stick today, not sticks, but he's on the monopod hanging out. And yeah, we're gonna get this car looking nice. So a car like this, a little bit different as far as like the material that's on the car. So, you know, more modern cars like daily driven vehicles, you have a lot of plastic and vinyl clear coat. Granted, I think this car is clear coated, but on cars like this, oftentimes you have, you know, single stage paint, maybe it's original paint. You have a lot of chrome. You know, on this car specifically, it has, you know, billet wheels. So, and they're a little bit cloudy. So we'll do some metal polishing on that to kind of brighten up the metal on there. But there's just like all kinds of stuff. I also noticed too, Teddy can show you later, but actually here, I'll open the door for you to see it. But the interior is really cool. But he has this kind of two-toned navy and white kind of cream colored interior, and their seats are pretty dirty. So that's something I want to brighten up, that leather on the inside. And if it's original and I can't get it perfect, that's okay too. But I think getting some, using some leather and interior cleaner on there, plus some leather conditioner, I think will really make it look nice. And it will even, you know, make the color of this blue even a more rich in color look. So we'll just do that really quick too. But you know, this car really needs like more than what I'm gonna do today. It probably needs to be two-step, like compound and polished. You know, the floor mats need to be cleaned thoroughly. I would even probably use the extractor on those. You can see the Mustang logo. It's a little bit dirty, which is normal. Like, this car gets driven a lot. And so it's not a bad thing. It's just, you know, sometimes you got to do a little bit extra work. But today, we're just really going to be adding some shine and hanging out. So really, first things first, this kind of goes without saying, but before I get into adding some shine, I just want to wipe the car down. So, you know, in the case of what it looks like right now, it's not really that dusty. It's not so much that I feel like I need to use waterless wash. If there was like a layer of dust on here, I would use waterless wash first to prevent from getting swirl marks. But because it's not crazy dusty right now, just a little bit, you can kind of, I don't know if Teddy could capture that on camera, but come stand over here actually. See if Teddy can capture this. We'll see how good his camera skills are. But if you look kind of like in here, there's like, just like a tiny little layer of dust, but it's not excessive. And so I'm gonna opt for using the detail spray instead of needing to fully like waterless wash this thing. So, you know, I think it's a pretty easy like judgment of like, you know, if you can see like a nice layer of dust, I would avoid swiping your finger on it because that can potentially scratch. But if you can see like a pretty thick layer of dust on there and it hasn't been wiped down for a while, waterless wash. If it's like this where there's barely just a little bit of dust, detail spray is just fine. Yes, Chris.
Wants to know, can the undercarriage spray be topped with with graphene ceramic spray coating?
Oh, and
can the undercarriage spray be used with a foam can?
That's a cool question actually. So C. Thomas, which we all know as Chester Thomas, who's on here every week. Okay, Chester's the man. It's always fun hanging out with you every Wednesday, Chester. But he said his question was, can you put graphene ceramic spray coating on top of undercarriage spray that you put in like the fender wells or other parts of the car? I would recommend it flipping that. So I would first treat your undercarriage or your fender wells with the spray coating first to have like a base layer of the protection and hydrophobics. And then down the road, to darken up your fender wells or the undercarriage, put the undercarriage spray on top of the graphene ceramic spray coating. You just want like the thing that's gonna last the longest, you want that on first. And so, you know, if you've done undercarriage spray already, you can just go through and clean them. And I would recommend, for that, I would probably tell you, if you have it, the all-purpose cleaner, the like neon green product over there, I would use that. That's gonna help get the undercarriage spray off. And then once it's dry, do the spray coating on there. And then the next time you go to do it, use the undercarriage spray. And for anyone watching who's not familiar with undercarriage spray, it's like a pure silicone spray. It's kind of shiny, but it ends up kind of, the shine fades a little bit after it dries. But the undercarriage spray, once you're done cleaning your wheels and everything and you're dressing your tires, actually before you dress your tires, you spray the undercarriage spray into your fender wells or your undercarriage, and it darkens it up. And what ends up happening is when you have your fender wells super, super dark, it actually almost makes your wheels and tires like pop out, it showcases them a little bit better. And so it's a product that, you know, honestly, like it's been in the Adams Polishes line since I've been here, since 2012. But it's actually a product that's really popular with the off-roading crowd. They have the like metal armor stuff in the areas where they don't step because that product's really slippery. They'll spray that on there and it darkens it up really nice. So, and then what was the other, there was like a second part to that.
Can you use undercarriage spray and foam can?
Oh, can you use undercarriage spray in a foam cannon? I don't recommend it. It's not gonna foam up. It's not really its intention. It's just like almost like a pure silicone spray. And so just use it out of the sprayer. And honestly, less is more with that product. Like when I spray it in the fenders, you wanna like mist it and move your hand while you do it, because you just want even coverage, but you don't wanna overdo it. And actually we recommend when you're using undercarriage spray, if you have like an Adams box where your shipment came in, or you have any sort of cardboard box, slide it underneath the tire like right here, and then spray it, because you don't want the silicone to go onto your driveway or pavement, because it will stain it. And so use like a box so it drips onto the box and not onto your pavement. But I would say, like, if you go on our YouTube, which you already are, but if you go into our videos area of our YouTube, if you go back kind of far, like into 2012, 2014, there's going to be some videos inside there that feature the undercarriage spray, so you can really see, you know, the results you can get from it, but also like how you use it. So yeah. Okay, I'll take more. Keep asking questions, Chris. I'm going to try to work and talk. I'm not good at doing that, but so I said, don't need waterless wash today because it's not excessively dusty. I'm just going to go with some detail spray really quick. Go ahead, Chris.
Sorry, I lost it. Awesome guy says, I use detail spray for light stuff and rinseless for a full wash. Why use waterless over detail spray?
Oh, that's a good question. First off, nice username. Awesome guy. Hopefully you are awesome. But anyways, awesome guy says, I use detail spray for light stuff, meaning like, you know, wiping down, like kind of what I'm doing. And then awesome guy always also, in the second part of that question is, for more heavy stuff, awesome guy uses rinseless wash, or I guess our new version of that would be hoseless wash. And he says, why use waterless wash over hoseless wash or detail spray? You know, hoseless wash is a little bit more specific of a process. If you're familiar with a rinseless wash type of product, it goes through this process called the Gary Dean wash method. And Gary Dean he's an old school detailer from, I'm pretty sure he's from kind of like 80s and 90s, but he developed this process where like you put this solution in a bucket and then you put a bunch of microfiber towels in the bucket, get it incorporated with the solution in the water, and then you essentially can wash your car without needing a hose or a pressure washer or any of that stuff. And the solution is really like super highly lubricated product. So it helps get the dirt off, but it's not going to scratch the car while you do it. And I think really like this Gary Dean wash method was kind of developed in like California and some other areas where a lot of drought was happening, because people were getting like fined for using more than a certain amount of water. And so essentially washing your car was out of the question because they were trying to conserve water. And so it's a way that you can wash your car, and especially in a drought-ridden area, like you're not getting mud on it and rain and snow and all this stuff. So it's more dirty from heavy dirt and dust. But essentially, like, you can do this whole process, but your bucket would still contain a lot of the solution in it because you're not putting your dirty towels back into the bucket. And so you could just take that water and set it aside, maybe put a lid on the bucket, and you could like wash your car 5 times with just kind of call it 4 gallons of water with some of the solution in it. But the rinseless wash method has like progressed, the Gary Dean wash method has progressed in our industry to be something that people use more consistently. Like they'll maintain their car more often because it doesn't require you taking out the pressure washer and all this stuff. Now, the rinseless or the Gary Dean wash method, or in our case, the hoseless wash method, when you wash the car, it's not like a spray and wipe process. There's like a lot of water and solution in your towel, and when you wipe the car off, you kind of do it in one motion, and you're just trying to get the dirt off of the car. But what happens is your car gets streaky because you leave solution and water on the car. So you still have to go back and like wipe it down with detail spray. I personally like to use like CS3 because I can add some protection while I wipe it off. But it's not a spray and wipe method, so it's a little bit longer of a process. Whereas waterless wash derives from the hoseless wash, and you can actually dilute hoseless wash down to make your own waterless wash solution. And so waterless wash contains all the lubricants and everything, but it doesn't have shine enhancement. And so you can kind of get away with cleaning a car that has, you know, a fair amount of dust and dirt on it by just a spray and wipe process with the hose or with the waterless wash process. And so I kind of mentioned it before I started this, but in this case, the car's not dirty enough for a hoseless wash or a waterless wash. And so I'm just wiping it down with detail spray right now because I'm not necessarily going to run the risk of scratching the car, causing swirl marks while I do this process. And listen, the whole point of what we're doing today is to add shine and not add swirls. And so if the car was a little bit more dirty, I would probably have done a waterless wash treatment on this. And actually on our Instagram, we posted a reel that was, you know, add some shine to this car specifically. And in that reel on Instagram, I did do waterless wash because it was way more dirty. And now that I'm doing this process with you guys, I'm kind of reaping the benefits of that waterless wash process previously, which was about, how long ago was that, Chris? Like a month ago? 3 weeks ago, a month ago? I think that was about a month ago.
Yeah, I think so.
And so, you know, here at Adams Polishes, because this is sitting inside, it's not super dirty, and a lot of the dust that gets on cars that sit in the showroom is because our hardworking crew on the other side of this wall, who are fulfilling your orders from Black Friday, they're working with cardboard boxes, they're moving around doing all this stuff, and a lot of the cardboard filament is kind of just like floating around. And that's what ends up landing on this thing. And looks dusty, but it's kind of a lot of cardboard type stuff. I don't know if you saw when I just did that, but I was using both these sides to wipe. I've essentially wiped down like half of the car, half of the hood and this whole side of the car. I also did the rear trunk right here. But you can see, I personally, when I do this process with detail spray, I like to use a single soft towel, or I like to use a double soft towel. And the reason being is when the towel is white, I can see how much dirt I'm getting in my towel. And so you can see I have some dirt up here, I have some dirt down here. And what I don't want to do is keep pushing that dirt all over the car. So before I keep moving on, because I notice there's a lot of dirt on here, I'm just going to fold it on itself, and now I have fresh sides of the towel so I can keep going with this. And if I start to see more dirt go on here, I'll just flip the towel again, but I don't want to take the dust I'm wiping off this car when it gets you know, excessive in my towel and keep wiping it on the car. So being able to flip your towel consistently throughout this like wipe down process is pretty important. And again, like down here, it's going to be the most dirty probably. Like you can see, I just picked up some dirt here. So I'm already like more than halfway past the car, so I'll just flip it over because I still have a lot more fresh panels of the towel to work with. And this wipe down process, like I'm kind of doing this pretty fast. You know, this feels very stressful because I'm trying to get through the live with you guys in about the hour and whatever time frame we have. But if this was me in my garage and this car was sitting in my garage, I would just be, you know, taking my time. There's really no rush. This is more about shine therapy than it is, you know, the pressure of getting your car perfect. Because again, like this car, you know, I would already say it's pretty much perfect. It's just, we're gonna add some shine to it to make it kind of pop more for when we take it on its next drive. So Yeah.
Or sorry, wireless or hoseless. Would you go over the car again with detail spray afterwards?
Yeah, that's actually a pretty good question. So somebody asked, when you're using waterless wash or rinseless wash, or I always call it rinseless because that's what it was named when I started here. But yeah, when you use waterless wash or rinseless, I think there's some instances where you can get away with waterless wash, where you can kind of spray it on, get the dirt off, flip the towel, and then like even it out. But for me, I like the process of getting the dirt off and into the towel for waterless wash, and then setting the towel aside, and then going back over it with almost the exact process I'm doing right now. So like a waterless washing process is like, let's say this was like really dirty and dusty. I would spray the waterless wash more liberally than detail spray. So like detail spray, I'm like 1 spray, 2 spray, and then I'm like wiping it down. Waterless wash, it's like you want to saturate the surface because you want the emulsifiers in the waterless wash to pull the dust and dirt away, but you also want the lubricants to encapsulate the dust and the dirt, so when you wipe, it glides and doesn't scratch against the car. And so you spray it a little bit more heavy, and then when you wipe with waterless wash, you take it and you wipe and roll your hand as you wipe like this, and then you come back and you do it again. But I'm not like going over this, okay? And then if this got really dirty, I would flip the towel over, wipe and roll my hand, wipe and roll my hand. And this would all be streaky because I'm trying to get the dirt from that's on the car and get it off the car and into the towel. So then I could set my towel aside, then I go back off my cart, I grab my detail spray in my single soft or double soft, and then I can give it the, couple mists like that, and then go through long, fast swipes like this and even it all out. And also like the detail spray is gonna add shine as well. It's a quick detailer. But in this process, like if you do the waterless washing process, you could go over the top of it with your favorite quick detailer. Whether that's detail spray, graphene detail spray, slick and slide, CS3, any one of those will work to like even out the streakiness of waterless wash or hoseless wash. Yes, Chris.
Silverado Tel says, I've got a black 2011 GMC Sierra that I bought this year. In the spring, I compounded, polished, and applied graphene ceramic spray coating advanced. But over the summer, it started swirling like crazy. Should I hit it with 1-step polish again this spring and reapply the ceramic coating?
Oh, that's a pretty good question. What was the username again?
Silverado Tel, and he just added, am I going to fight the swirls with the black color? I thought maybe the first application didn't apply correctly. It was kind of cold when I did it. I used the 2-bucket wash method with one hand.
Okay.
So he's properly washing it and seeing swirls in spray coating advanced and wants to know if he should do 1-step.
What's the username again?
Silverado Tel.
Silverado Tel. Okay, well, here is a good lesson for everybody based on Silverado Tel's experience. Ceramic coatings aren't bulletproof, okay? And I think like as much as we want to say you put a ceramic coating on and it like maintains a perfect finish for 9 years or 2 years, unfortunately it's not super realistic, and the cars that are going to show that the most are cars with black paint on them. Okay, so I'm going to apologize now to Silverado Tel because black paint is not the easiest to care for consistently, and especially like I'd be curious if this black truck is your daily driver or if it's something that sits in a garage like this more consistently, because the more you're going to touch that thing, the more you get a chance of getting swirl marks. Now, the positive side of this is that the ceramic coating is protecting your paint, and it's easier to correct when you get to that point of needing to remove the swirl mark. So your thought process of doing a 1-step polish to it, I think is perfect. Okay, the 1-step polish, and I would say the 1-step polish with either a blue foam pad or a white foam pad is gonna be perfect to make that car look amazing again. But once you do the one-step polish, it probably is not going to remove even the spray coating completely. It's going to reduce the amount that's on there. But if you feel like you need to reapply the spray coating again for how easy it is, then you should do that. If you don't feel like you need to, what I would make sure and do is the next time you wash it, if it's still beating water, like really good, then it says that the spray coating is still present. You're doing just fine. So I think for me, I try not to, and maybe this is a hot take, I don't know, but I think for me, I try not to overthink the idea of like, if you polish it with any kind of polish, it's going to remove the coating. The coating is so hard that you need to compound it like 2 rounds of passes to really like actually get it off the car. It's very resilient. And so doing a one-step polish isn't going to remove it so much that it's gone. You know, it will reduce it. So like now, you know, the 2 years might go down to 1.5 years, but still like 1.5 years, you know, pretty good time frame of like how long it's going to last. But I think for me, what I like to do is like, once I see the water behavior start to change, and instead of these like super tight beads, it's starting to flatten out and the water's just grabbing onto the surface, that's more of a tell to me that like, you know, I should probably clay it first, maybe do a one step if I'm not okay with the finish, and then reapply it. But yeah, I hope that's kind of a loaded answer, but you know, I think I think the hard part for us too is like the ceramic coating stuff is sometimes it's hard to answer stuff for people, because even like to say how long it lasts in years is very subjective to like where you live and how much you drive your car, you know? So if it's a daily driven vehicle, like you drive it every day and it sits outside every day, you know, it's going to get more dirty. It's going to get driven more, which means you're going to wash it more. And if you touch it more often, every time you touch your car, there's a chance of getting swirl marks in it. So the more you touch, and like some people are like, I wash my car every week. And like, granted, you're not going to have as much dirt on the car, but like the fact that you're touching it can cause swirl marks. And so, you know, where do you live, Silverado Tel, and like how often do you wash it?
He said it's his daily.
It's a daily driver, yeah.
And I'm putting in the comments the listen up.
Oh yeah, that's good. Chris is putting in the comments a link of this video we did called "Listen Up: What's Your Ceramic Coating Telling You." That's one of my favorite videos I've ever done, because I think like everyone in our industry is like, you have a ceramic coating, this is exactly how you maintain it. And I'm like, no, like it doesn't need to be that crazy every time. Like your ceramic coating is going to tell you what it wants, and it's more sign language than anything. It's not going to actually like speak to you, but like, I don't know, maybe if you're a little crazy, but like, it's when you spray water on it, it's going to tell you what it needs, you know?
Pacific Northwest as well.
Pacific Northwest. So Silverado Tel is washing his car a lot. He's in the rain. He's getting more dirt on his car. It's a daily driven vehicle. So naturally, you're more susceptible of getting swirl marks on your car than like somebody that lives in California. Not Northern California, because Northern California is more like the type of weather where you're at, but like Southern California. So, you know, I think, listen, I'm just going to tell you guys this. There's very much a reality to like a daily driven vehicle and a black daily driven vehicle. Like you're going to see more swirl marks with that than a lot of other cars, you know? So the ceramic coating is going to help with that. But like I was saying before, the fact that you have the ceramic coating on your car, it's going to be a lot easier to maintain. It's going to be easier to wash. It's going to be easier to maintain. It's going to be easier to correct when you get to that point. So you're in a really good spot. It's just your daily driven vehicle and where you live is going to require a little bit more work than somebody that doesn't have to wash their car as much, you know? So
Chester wants to know if the wash once a week comment is targeted at him.
yes, Chester, the wash once a week is targeted towards you, but I think you watch like 3 times a week. So no, maybe it's not. Honestly, it's more targeted at Adam, the founder of this business, because he washes twice a week all of his cars. So
Chester doesn't have daily drivers, he has daily washers.
Yeah, yeah. Listen, I respect it. If I could wash my car every week, I absolutely would. I love, by the way, out of all the stuff we do here, washing the car is my favorite. There's something about being outside on a nice day and you wash your car, or evening, you know, washing your car is one of the great, it's one of the most classic American things that exists. It's right, I think it's right in line with the hamburger. It's like washing your car and then going to the Frosty Freeze to get a hamburger and a shake is like straight, you know, it's like American graffiti style, you know, same with like a cruise and all that. But, excuse me.
Do you want another code-related question?
Yeah, let me segue really quick and then I'll take it. He's going to ask me another ceramic coating question here in a second. Let's see. What should I would do this a little bit different. I'm going to do a brilliant glaze treatment on this car. And normally what I would do is I would go and, you know what, forget it. I'm going to do it the right way. All right, sorry. Do you have any gloves back there? I just want to get some, I'm going to do some metal polishing. The reason why I'm going to do this first is because after I do metal polishing, I actually like to do a brilliant glaze treatment on the thing I just did metal polishing on. And I'll talk about why here in just a second. But these wheels, I'm kind of curious to see if we can clean these up a little bit, but I'm going to do a little bit of hand metal polishing on these. And, you know, to be honest with you, if you want to expedite this process, if you have one of the micro polishers, one of these guys, you can polish the wheels with one of these. Okay, and I would recommend like either the blue foam pad or the white foam pad on this. You can do metal polishing on the wheels, but I was going to use this, but it's dead. And so I'm not using it. All right. Okay.
With a cord extension.
That's all right. The hand polishing is just as good. So for metal polishing, I do the gray microfiber applicator, and then we have a system which is metal polish 1 and metal polish 2. So think about this kind of like compounded polish, like when you polish your paint. But metal polish 1 is the one that does the heavy lifting, and metal polish 2 is it essentially cleans everything up and makes it look amazing. And so we're going to come down here to the wheel. And actually, while I'm down here, excuse me, I talk so much my throat gets dry. But, sorry. See if I can actually, I'm going to try to get a little bit better light on here. Here we go. How's that looking, Teddy? Is that helping? Yeah? Okay. Okay, so before I start polishing these, I'm just going to tell you something, okay? Wheels like this, well, here, let's check to see if they're actually metal, okay? If I use metal polish on this and a bunch of black starts to show up onto this applicator, and actually one of the easiest ways to tell is if you take one of our plush microfiber towels and you shake the metal polish, but you put a little bit of the metal polish onto the towel, like just a tiny little bit, like that, just enough that's on the towel. And you take that portion and you rub it on here. You go back and forth a few times. And you go like that and it shows up black on the towel. That means that these are raw metal, okay? If I did that and no black showed up on here, then it means they would be clear coated, okay? And so if you go through and do this process, like what I just did, and it turns out black, then you know you have metal wheels. So that's one way to tell. That's also like with chrome. I'd be curious if this is chrome plated and not metal, but let's check. I bet the A pillar is metal, but I'll put a little bit of metal polish on here and I'm gonna rub it onto this guy. Like that. And you can see this is like chrome plated. Chrome, I don't even know how to describe this. And this is something I need to do more research on, but chrome isn't raw metal. It's like chrome plated. And so it's not necessarily clear coated, but it's not like the kind of raw metal like these wheels are made out of. Now, if I come over here to this A-pillar and I do the same thing, rub this on here, you can see it comes up black. Now I know that that is raw metal, okay? So when you're going through all this stuff and you're gonna do some metal polishing, you can really figure out what is the raw metal versus what's the chrome and all that stuff. Now I will say the metal polish does work really good on chrome, but it's not going to, it's gonna clear it up, make it look, add more clarity to it, but it's not like what's gonna happen to this wheel, okay? So let me set this towel aside. Now the other thing I wanna talk about really quick is if you do have wheels like this that are metal, the product you want to use to clean these is Eco Wheel Cleaner. If you use our standard wheel cleaner or use our wheel and tire cleaner, it will stain these wheels. Okay, so if you're actually going to go through and use the wheel cleaning tools with water and everything, Eco Wheel Cleaner is the product you want to use for billet or metal wheels like this. Okay. Now for metal polishing, I got my gray microfiber applicator, and I like this because this thing can go in every different shape. Okay, so I can get it in a bunch of different places, but I'll take the metal polish, and with this product, kind of less is more. So I just like to put it where my fingers are going to be touching, all right? And before I start, I just want you to know the magic number with metal polish is 20, okay? That is, 20 is essentially one swipe is one. So it's essentially 10 back and forth, but 20 swipes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And after about 6 or 7, it's a joke for all the teenagers, but after about 6 or 7 swipes, I end up losing count and then I just forget. But for me, it's more of like a feeling because I've been doing it for so long. But you go like this and you start swiping. That was a lot. I think I did like 25. Then I'm gonna add a little bit more. And I'm gonna start on this part. And I'm kind of just doing a little section right now, so I want to see if we can see somewhat of a difference while we go through this process. But as you can tell, I asked Ryan behind the customer service desk for some latex gloves because metal polishing is a very, very messy process. And so I like to wear gloves for this because if not, your hands will just turn black. And then it's really, it takes probably 3 days of washing your hands to like get it off. So, and with metal polishing, it's about coverage. So just going over it multiple times, trying to hit everything that you see. So after you've done metal polish 1, then I could do metal polish 2 on this part that's black right here, but I'm actually going to flip it over to this part, and not for any particular reason, to be honest with you. Sometimes on your metal polish, like when you get it, sometimes it shows up with some red caps in here. You're going to go to pour it out and nothing's going to happen. So just unscrew it. I always check before I use it, but again, shake it. The metal polish products separate. It has a product in there that essentially, it's like a liquid that oxidizes the metal. And then there's like it's not really like a paste, but it's similar to brilliant glaze, how brilliant glaze separates. But you want to shake it before you use it to incorporate everything. Thank you. You can just set it on the cart. So As you notice, I didn't wipe off metal polish 1 because as I'm using it, it starts to break down. So I can just do metal polish 2 right on top of that, like this. Add a little bit more. It's kind of funny, like this metal polish 1 and 2 is sort of a underrated product combo that we sell, but you know, not a lot of people have metal on their cars anymore. So it's not like a huge segment of people that need this, but the people that use this stuff are like blown away of the results they get because, you know, and also listen, here's the thing, it's not, we don't sell like a metal polishing paste, which is more aggressive. This is really a refinement type of product. And so it works really good, but you know, if you're looking to get like scratches and swirl marks out of metal, this isn't gonna do it. You need something a little bit more heavy. But let's see. I also like to use the borderless gray to wipe it off. You can use a edgeless utility towel to get it off too, but I don't know, the plushness of the borderless gray I just like. I feel like it grabs onto the product more. That looks a lot better, I'll be honest. I don't know, can you tell, Teddy? It just looks like a little bit more even and clear to me. But it's a lot more like, I guess when we talk about this shine therapy thing, it's like the clarity that it brings when the light hits it the right way, it just looks like nice and shiny. Question?
How does metal polish 1 and 2 compare to one-step metal polish?
Metal polish 1 and 2 compared to one-step metal polish, you know, I would say metal polish 1 and 2 are going to get better results. One-step metal polish is just, you're essentially combining the two into one to make it a little bit more efficient. I would say it's very similar to like metal polish 1 and 2 are kind of like our compound and polish, and then one-step metal polish is like our one-step polish for paint, right? Like you can only get so far with sorry, we're technical difficulties. We have batteries all over the place dying, so we just switched those out. Sorry, if you're still with us, we appreciate it, or we apologize. During that fiasco of battery trouble, I set something up here, but I asked Teddy behind the camera how the wheel came out, and he said it's blinging like 3PO. So, any Star Wars fans out there, I was just laughing at that. Anyways, somebody was asking me about how one-step metal polish differs from metal polish 1 and 2. And I was kind of comparing it to like compounded polish for paint versus one-step polish for paint. And so if you think about this, like if you think about this towel, from this towel all the way over to this towel is like, you know, paint doesn't look good and now it's perfect over here. Compound can bridge the gap to about as far as this first towel goes, and then polish takes over from there and it finishes it perfect. So they both they have a longer working time, so the compound has more of an ability to correct more, and then polish has more of an ability to refine more to make a perfect mirror. Now, one-step polish bridges the gap between the two. So like one-step polish can't correct as much as compound. It can do some correction, and it can't finish as good as polish. So like you can kind of bridge the gap, but one-step polish also works really good on ceramic coatings because it's a different substance than clear coat. Same thing with metal polish 1 and 2. Like metal polish 1 is going to correct more and remove like more oxidation and things like that. And metal polish 2 is going to refine it better to make it look more, have more clarity and look really nice. And one-step metal polish bridges the gap between those two. So metal polish, one-step metal polish, I would say is like, after you've done the metal polish 1 and 2 process on something and it looks really, really good, then you can touch it up with one-step metal polish more consistently as long as you keep up with it. If you let it oxidize too much, then you got to go back to the metal polish 1 and metal polish 2 process. I hope that's a good enough explanation. Another question.
Do our polishes and compounds expire?
Do the polishes and compounds expire? I think probably Adam's Polishes wants me to say yes, but I don't think so. Like, I think we give like a very general, like all the products last 2 years, but you know, I have one-step polish, not one-step polish, what am I talking about? Correcting polish. It was like an old polish we used to offer that's still like a fan favorite. I've had like the same bottle since like 2015. I still use it to this day. So, you know, if anything, the products aren't going to ruin anything on your car. What's going to happen is they might, you know, if it's like detail spray that you've had for 10 years, it might just be a little streaky, but it's not going to damage your car. Now, I will say like the ceramic coating is a little bit different. Like if you've used, you know, 3/4 of a bottle of graphene ceramic coating and like the top portion's been exposed to the air, it starts to crystallize on top. And if you go to use it again and that ceramic crystal gets like into your applicator, I've done this before. I go to use it and it's just like, boom, I get a scratch because the crystal of the ceramic is in between my applicator and the paint. And so in that instance, it's a little bit different, but it's like, as long as it doesn't get exposed to air for an extended period of time, then shake it up and use it, you know? So I would say if you have something that's, you know, 5 years old, use it and try it. And if it works good, keep using it until you run out and then get more stuff, you know? But don't overthink it. I've even had detail spray freeze in my car. It turns like, I don't know, I can't even like explain the color. It looks like red Gatorade. And, you know, the stableness of the dye and the fragrance in it is the thing that gets altered. But like the base formula of what detail spray is made out of is still the same. So it might look different, but it still performs the same. And so I've used some pretty jacked up looking detail spray in my time, but it still makes a car look good. So, you know, I try not to overthink it. And again, like I think with anything in detailing, 99.9% of the stuff that you do on a car is fixable. You know, even if you put a ceramic coating on and there's high spots everywhere, you can fix that. The one thing you can't fix, two things you can't fix. Number one is burning through the paint. Okay, so if you burn through the paint, listen, you can fix it, but it just comes at a cost. You just have someone repaint it, right? Now, the other thing you can't fix is if you stain your wheels because you use the wrong wheel cleaner on metal wheels. So remember, I talked about this earlier, eco wheel cleaner for your wheels, all right? I'm just gonna go back and try to quickly, I know we're kind of getting later on time, and I've, you know, roughly, it's 2. I probably have like 15 minutes. Oh, if you guys are okay to hang out for 30 minutes, I don't really care, but I really only have like one more thing. Oh, I guess 2 more things to do. So I'm just metal polish 1, gonna keep going. And like I said, you know, if I had my micro polisher that had full battery, I'd probably just run that over the surface of this. Take a little bit less time, but unfortunately the display battery was dead, so I'm going by hand on this. You guys have more questions while I go through this metal polishing process. This is probably a good time for me to...
Right, so Bright Third Colorado, or Bright Third CO, says, I tried to let this go, but I asked this last week. Joe, why didn't you foam your Forerunner before you rinsed and washed that clay and spray? You could have given us a demo of the IK battery foamer. And then Chester said, which one of the IK foaming sprayers do you like the best?
Ooh. Okay, I think, well, who is the first person?
Bright Third Colorado.
Bright Third Colorado. I bet that's Bryce Stevenson. That's Bryce who I met in Steamboat Springs. And actually, I know why he asked me that, because he was using a foaming sprayer and I think it broke and he was asking me about it. And actually, Bright, the next time you're here, I have something for you, okay? I hope it's not too big, but I have a foaming sprayer for you, okay? It was a demo we got, and I specifically have it set aside for you. I think you'll love it, but, and then Chester, so the reason why I didn't use the foaming sprayer is I was trying to be a little bit more efficient, and I think probably the main reason is I forgot. So, and to be honest with you, I don't generally foam my car down in the pay and spray. The reason being is it kind of, for me, it takes a little bit extra time, and usually there's like a line behind me. You know, fortunately for the live video, I get to play hooky at work and go wash my car on a Wednesday at 1 o'clock. Most people can't do that. And like when I'm mainly washing my car, it's on the weekend. And so there's usually a pretty big line at the pay and spray. And so, you know, I know Bright he washes his cars like at night in the evening at the pay and spray. So there's generally not very many people there when Bright is there. But I have used it before. You know, I will say, maybe not at the pay and spray do I use the foaming sprayer, but I definitely use it when I do my hoseless wash process. I actually love foaming my car down when I do the hoseless wash process. And so, yeah, unfortunately, but I didn't use it that time. And I use it sometimes. It kind of depends on how dirty my car is. I know Bright uses it a lot, and I think he actually uses it because I suggested that before, and I think maybe I was just being lazy, which is not a good answer, but you know, this is a place of honesty, so I'm just being honest this time. But Chester also asked, he said, what is my favorite foaming sprayer? You know, my favorite foaming sprayer, it's kind of a loaded question, to be honest. I like the battery powered one that's really tall. It kind of looks like the ones you would use to like spray your weeds. The smaller one that's battery powered, we've actually had some issues with it. Like, because normally you're using it when you're like washing and stuff, and when it would get water on it, it would fail immediately. So we actually have been going through a process of that because those have, unfortunately, for whatever reason, they just haven't been performing the right way. And so I think for me, what I like the standard pump foaming sprayer, as much work as it takes to pump it over and over again. But you know, the pump one is just reliable. Like it's like, you know, it's a manual thing. It's not battery powered. Doesn't run the risk of needing more batteries or recharging or all this other stuff. And so I just personally think I gravitate towards that one a little bit more. Excuse me. But you know, the battery powered ones are really good too, other than the, you know, if they get wet, they get messed up. So but I think the one that like stands and has a hose that comes off of it, and you know, you can move around like that. I really like that one because it just has a bigger capacity. And so with a bigger capacity, I don't have to refill it as much. And I'll be honest, like, we used to have a product called, what was that product called, Chris? It was like Foam and Wash, I think is what it was called. We had a product called Foam and Wash, which was, it was kind of like this. It was our version of, not to mention names, but Ammo NYC, Larry Casilla's company. He had a product called Frothy, and we thought it was a really, really cool process. And so we wanted to try to have something like that too. And so we had it for a little while, but it just never took hold. I think, you know, Adams Polish is really like, we really love like washing cars. You know, with the pressure washer and all that stuff. And so just never really took hold, but I liked using that in conjunction with the hoseless wash. I would foam the car down first, and then I would do the hoseless wash process over the foam down vehicle. And it worked really, really good. But now that we don't have foam and wash, what I'll do is I'll actually dilute either car shampoo, or I'll dilute Mega Foam into the pump foaming sprayer, and then I'll foam the car like that, you know? So these actually came out really good. This wheel did anyways. It looks like way more, there's just more clarity. I don't know, what are you seeing, Teddy?
Dude, shinier.
I think it's shinier, dude. Yeah. It's just more, look, here's the thing. There was some stuff on top, like a little bit of water spots and some other things like that. And it kind of removed all that stuff and made it like way more even. And so sometimes it doesn't necessarily have to correct a lot, but sometimes if you just even it out a little bit, makes it look more consistent and good, you know? You want to see what I'm working on? I just metal polished this wheel.
You just polished the wheel?
Yeah, I did hand metal polishing on the wheel.
That's great.
Does it look okay?
It looks awesome, dude.
Okay, you guys heard it first, okay? Looks awesome. Yeah, I think it's like, you know, even on this like center cap, that came out really nice, which I think is chrome. But everything just looks more even and perfect. So, what is... Oh yeah, here we go. Okay, before I move on, actually not before I move on. Now I'm gonna get into a brilliant glaze process, okay? Now the reason why I like to metal polish before I brilliant glaze everything is because I'm gonna use brilliant glaze on the wheels, and I'm gonna show you why right now. I'm gonna take a fresh applicator really quick. By the way, I wish we sold these, but I wear this silicone ring, and I love the silicone ring because if I touch the car, it doesn't scratch the car rather than a metal ring. So if you're doing a lot of detailing, a silicone ring is a little bit of a hack. Normally I would take off my watch, but like I said before, I'm being lazy today, so I haven't taken it off. Okay, so brilliant glaze. The reason why I like to metal polish before I do brilliant glaze on the whole thing is you'll notice when I put brilliant glaze on here, and just FYI, I realize I say brilliant glaze very weird. I say like brilliant glaze. I don't know why. I think it's like this Northern Californian accent I have, but someone called me out on it on a video once. I was like, damn, man, these guys don't like how I talk. Okay, I'm just gonna take Brilliant Glaze and put it on the surface. It's just like a nice thin layer. And the reason why I like doing this is because as much as I wipe off the surface of the wheel while I do the metal polish, or like after I'm done doing the metal polishing, the solvent inside the Brilliant Glaze actually helps remove even excess of some of the metal polishing residue that's left over. So I just run this on here. So if you look at this, it's black. Okay, that's because there's still metal polish residue that's left on the surface from my metal polishing process, and the towel can only get so much of that off. So using the power of the Brilliant Glaze with the solvent in it helps break it down a little bit more, and it should actually make it even more shiny after I wipe it off. But with Brilliant Glaze, you got to make sure and let the solvent flash off of the surface before you wipe it off with the towel. And so I'm just going to leave that. I have no worries. It's Brilliant Glaze wipes off consistent, perfect every single time. And so I could do the whole car and then come back and wipe it all off. And so I'm just going to leave that for now. Now, doing Brilliant Glaze on the car, there's a couple ways you can do it. One way, if you have a lot of time in the evening, you're coming out to the garage for some shine therapy, and you're not like in a rush, you want to just take your time, you can take one of these gray microfiber applicators, or we also have, I don't know where, oh, one of these, a red hex grip applicator. You can use this to hand apply the Brilliant Glaze onto the car. So it's kind of like this. I'm gonna do it the Adam way because this is my favorite, okay? Adam likes to put some onto the applicator, and then he just accidentally goes like that. He just drops it onto the car. I love watching Adam use Brilliant Glaze because it's been one of the staple products in his line from the very beginning, from when he started the business. Even before he started the business, he was using Brilliant Glaze on the Coca-Cola trucks that he was detailing. So then what you do with the Brilliant Glaze, you kind of make an outline like this, and then you start filling it in. And what you're gonna notice is it goes on, I don't know, it looks kind of weird. It's like, it almost looks like polish, kind of like Vaseline maybe. And Brilliant Glaze isn't, I don't like doing circles, because do a circle, I miss this spot right here, I miss this spot right here, I miss this spot right here. Brilliant Glaze is a crosshatch, and you don't have to like work it in, okay? You just, I go, you know, front to back, like so, and then side to side. This is about coverage, not working it into the surface. Kind of like this. Go over the Ford lettering here. Drop over to above the fender, like this. And the cool thing about Brilliant Glaze, add a little bit more on here, is areas where it's best to be used on. Chrome, glass, paint. I'd probably say that's kind of the triple threat of Brilliant Glaze. So you can go onto the glass, like so. And I think a lot of people on here know this already, but use Brilliant Glaze on the inside of the windshield to clear up the fogginess of your windshield. It works amazing. We have videos on YouTube about that. Also, I want to remind everybody, we're getting closer to the end here, but we are going to give away 5 $50 gift cards as just like a Christmas giveaway for everyone that hangs out on the live here. So, you know, Tyler, our marketing director, he was actually the one that brought it up. He's like, dude, those guys always show up for the live with you, so you should do a little bit of a giveaway for them. So we're just doing an exclusive one on today's Wednesday live. So we'll do that coming up here in just a little bit at the end of the video. So Brilliant Glaze, as you can see, is just, it's a pretty easy process. This is about like getting it onto the car, applying it. Like I'm gonna take it here onto the chrome, like this.
Does Brilliant Glaze affect a ceramic glass coating?
Does Brilliant Glaze affect a ceramic glass coating? It definitely does not affect a ceramic glass coating. It's just not, it's not abrasive enough or harsh enough of a chemical to do that. I would say, like, if anything, what's going to affect your glass coating the most over an extended period of time is the wiper blades and the harsh windshield wiper fluid that you use on it, which is normal. It's not that big of a deal, you know? And it's so easy to apply. It's like, I pretty much reapply it every 6 months. Probably could wait longer than that, but I think it just, again, I think part of it for me is like, I have this process in the spring and I have this process in the fall. And I do it the same every time. It just, I know it, I love it, it works for me every single time.
Does Brilliant Glaze make a good topper on a ceramic coated vehicle?
Does Brilliant Glaze work as a good topper on a ceramic coated vehicle? Honestly, no. No, it doesn't. I think it will add some shine, you know, if it's like a little bit more of a show car. It will add some clarity. So like, I guess, yeah, but like it's not necessarily like gonna help maintain the ceramic coated vehicle. Like it's not gonna boost the hydrophobics. It's really just a shine enhancement. You know, I would probably tell you more like graphene detail spray or graphene boost. You know, the thing about ceramic coatings is that the functionality of them is you know, the hardness of the ceramic coatings and the hydrophobics is going to keep the car, it's going to help protect and maintain the perfection for longer, that you don't really need to like enhance it with a Brilliant Glaze, you know? So using like boost or graphene detail spray, I think is like a better option. To be honest with you, and this is kind of a weird process, I might even do this next week if the weather's not too bad, but H2O Garden Gloss is amazing for a graphene ceramic coated vehicle. It puts such a thick layer of the sealant and SiO2 or silica formula onto it. It makes cars look so shiny. So H2O Garden Gloss, I would say if you're looking to enhance the shine of a ceramic coated car, if you're just going out into the garage, Brilliant Glaze is fine. It's just not going to adhere at all to the surface. It will go away immediately when you spray anything on it. Rain, water, doesn't matter. H2O Garden Gloss is going to adhere, and it puts such a thick layer that it looks crazy good. It's one of my favorite things to do on a ceramic coated car. Okay.
Can graphene detail spray be used?
Can graphene detail spray be used as a drying aid? You know what? Kinda. It kind of can. The reason why I say kind of is because when it's really hot, I don't recommend it. So like if it's, what would you say, 65 and above, if you're gonna use graphene detail spray, don't use it if it's 65 and above for a drying aid.
Yeah, when it's really hot.
Yeah, when it's like really hot. Here's the problem is like, even when it's 65 out, it's really like, your paint's really like 90 degrees because the UV and the sun radiates into the paint and then it like radiates heat off of the paint. Even when it's 90 degrees out, your paint's like 115 degrees. It's hot. Okay, so anytime that something's hot, it's gonna make the water in the detail spray evaporate faster. It's gonna leave the protection behind quicker. And so you're trying to chase it, you know, so I would say like 60 or 65 degrees and below, good to go for a drying aid. I would say when it gets really hot, just stick to the standard detail spray. And I'll say this, generally a drying aid isn't as much about doing multiple things. For me, a drying aid isn't about adding protection because I can do that in so many different ways. A drying aid, really, its purpose is to reduce drag for your drying towel and also to slow the process of getting water spots. And I guess it has three things. The third thing is I want it to be streak free when I wipe it off. I do not want to fight streaks the whole time I'm drying my car. So number one, detail spray helps slow the process of water spots as a drying aid. Number two, it wipes away perfect every time. And number three, it creates virtually no drag with your drying towel. And if you have drag, it can cause swirl marks. If you don't have drag, it helps dry and make it look perfect without actually causing scratching or anything like that. The one thing I forgot to show you guys, actually, I started doing it on this side, but I wanted to show you the other way to apply Brilliant Glaze. Take a red pad, it says wax and sealant on the back. I guess Brilliant Glaze is kind of technically a wax. Put it on the machine, okay? You gotta plug the machine in, that's probably step one actually. I got about halfway there. Make sure it works, like that. I'm gonna turn this to speed setting 1, okay? Then you take the, as Joe at Adams likes to say, Brilliant Glaze, because I can't say that word for some reason. I don't know what it is about the name of this product.
Overanalyzing it.
What?
You're overthinking it.
I know, but every time I say it, I'm like, that's not how you say that word. It just sounds terrible. Okay, I'm gonna move this light really quick. You can use the machine to apply Brilliant Glaze. So this isn't like a polishing process. So I'm not gonna be like doing passes. This is about coverage and application. So I'll just set this on here, maybe spread it out a little bit. And I'll turn the machine on, lock it in, and watch how fast I apply Brilliant Glaze to this whole side of the car, okay? Just turn it on. And when I see it start to thin out, I'll just add a little bit more. Less is more during this process. You can see how much I put on the pad. If I keep putting a ton more in, it's gonna sling everywhere. Okay, so I'll spread it out again. Turn the machine on like this. I'm putting just enough pressure to get the glaze on there. And for the areas that I don't want to try to fit the polisher into, I'm just not gonna worry about it, and I'll come back and address it with the gray microfiber applicator. So just like that. Just do it, you know, roughly by using the machine with Brilliant Glaze, I can pretty much glaze the whole car in, you know, roughly 15 minutes, I would say. But again, the purpose of this video today is less about speed and efficiency and more about enjoying your time with the car. You know, that's why we call it shine therapy. So, you know, I think for me, like, if this was my car in my garage, I would probably go out and hand glaze the whole thing because I can. There's something, this is gonna sound real weird, okay? But there is something about the experience of touching like every portion of the car and doing it by hand. It's like you almost get to know the car better, which is like a weird thing, but like part of what we love about cars, not only here at Adams Polishes, but throughout the automotive world is what the car looks like. It was designed by somebody, and a lot of people even, you know, they regard certain designers as like the greatest designers ever. So getting to, you know, glaze your car, wax your car by hand can give you like somewhat of a different experience when you're caring for it. You know, I think in the world today of ceramic coatings and paint corrections and all this stuff, we kind of lose sight of like what these cars really represent, you know? And this is just like a step back in time, you know? So being able to enjoy, you know, while I'm hand applying the glaze, I might see a certain angle of the car that I like never even noticed before. And it almost makes you like fall in love with these cars even more. You just get to spend time around them. And that's partially why, like for me, I love going to Barrett Jackson. I love going to Hot August Nights, because you get to be around vintage cars like this that I don't get to be around every day here at the office. So, you know, you'll see if you go to a show, you'll often see Adam and myself out wiping cars down, because there's just something about doing that process and being around the car and touching it and seeing every inch of the car. It's like one of the greatest things. And listen, if you're the kind of person like Hamza who's standing back here, who works on his car, who wrenches on his car, that even takes it like another step further, you know. But we love cars here. And I think people have asked me before, what's your favorite car? What's your dream car? And I'm like, I don't know, all of them. Like, I appreciate all of them, because I think working at Adams Polishes, car care, Adams Polishes is not biased to any make, model, or year. You know, so you get to see so many cool different flavors and different types of cars, and I appreciate all of them. You got a question?
Rodney says, I literally touch my cars every day in one way or another as far as detailing.
Yeah, see, Rodney, he just said he touches his cars every day one way or another. It's his therapy. You know, I can totally relate, Rodney. I personally right now don't have any cool cars, unless you think a crappy 6-cylinder 4Runner's cool, but Hamza thinks it's cool. But I do love that car. It's real simple. I don't have to worry about, I think there's one old computer in it, CPU, I don't know. But yeah, I think that's kind of the thing about this stuff is, if you really appreciate the stuff that you have and you take pride in it, this is fun, you know? Now, what I will show you now, I just want to show you really quick before I have a couple more things. I have about 5 minutes left. We got a giveaway. Chris, start picking out 5 giveaway winners, okay? And I would say make sure you throw in some regulars in there, because you know, I want to make sure that some of our loyalists get some of the benefits. But I don't know if Teddy can show you. Don't do this, by the way. But I can do it because I know I can fix it. But if you look, I can swipe my finger and you can see the glaze has now, like the solvent has come out of the glaze, and now the kind of wax and some of the other stuff is just left on the car. And really what the glaze does is it fills in a lot of the imperfections. So if you have any swirl marks or things like that, it's gonna fill that in. Then when you wipe it away with the towel, it wipes off the topmost layer, but it leaves a glaze in some of the imperfections, and that's why it appears more shiny. It's kind of like, it's like a masking agent. And I'll never forget, this is one of the coolest things ever. I was at Hot August Nights 2015, and there was a group of custom car builders. Their shop is called Sick Chops. I want to say they're out of South Dakota. Anyways, they had this really, really beautiful Lincoln Continental Mark II. They called it Old May, and it's one of my favorite cars I've ever seen. It was so freaking awesome. And it had swirl marks all over it because they were using not quality microfiber towels to wipe it down. So they were just getting these micro swirl marks all over. And they were in the top 25 of all of Hot August Nights, which has like 5,000 registered cars, okay? And they were like, I don't know what to do. And Adam and I were walking around the showcase, which was the top 25, and they saw us, and they saw Adam, they recognized him. They were like, Adam, this flat black painted car, which is like probably $10,000 to $15,000 paint job, they're like, it has swirls all over it, and we're about to show this car, and we don't know what to do. He went and grabbed Brilliant Glaze. I don't even know where I put it. He grabbed Brilliant Glaze, and he started slathering it on to the whole car. And I actually still have a picture. There's like, and when I say I love watching Adam put Brilliant Glaze on a car, this was one of those times. He just was like, boo, he did the whole car super fast. They helped him. they wiped it all off. It literally looked like it had no swirl marks at all, zero, because the glaze filled it all in. And they ended up showing it, and I think they placed in the top 3. But it was so crazy. I didn't necessarily know the power of brilliant glaze until I saw that instance. So, you know, when Adam did it at Hot August Nights that year, he kind of did it like this, where he put it on everything, and then he just came back with a plush microfiber towel, whether it's a double soft, single soft, a borderless gray, and you can see one swipe and it gets removed. So you just do these nice long fast swipes, and it actually, I can feel the brilliant glaze left on there. It's making the surface really slick. But it really just kind of adds this top layer of kind of wax to the surface and makes it look amazing. And that's on everything. So you'll see Teddy's gonna tilt the camera down to the chrome here, and you'll even see on the chrome, it makes it look super clear and perfect. Oh my gosh, it's like glowing, dude. I love that. I even put it on the headlight here. These are glass headlights. Did it on the chrome here. See, again, like this process of doing the glaze and getting down into the grill and doing all this stuff is just like such a different experience than some of this other stuff you do on cars. Chris,
Yeah.
you have your selections ready? He does, okay. We'll get to the $50 giveaway, gift card giveaway here in just a second. I'll finish wiping this off. This side hasn't fully dried yet, so I'm gonna wait on that. Dude, it looks, you might not be able to tell in camera, but doesn't that look better? I said you might not be able to tell in camera, but doesn't that look better? So I'm gonna wipe it off the wheel, because we had put it on the wheel. That was the first thing we did. So we'll take it and just oh my gosh, dude, what? Dude, I feel like I'm at Hot August Nights right now. It's like it's one of my favorite shows of all time. I'm sure a lot of people are gonna agree with this, but I really want to go to the Woodward Dream Cruise this year. We actually have one of my buddies, his name's Justin Sessler. He has a automotive like media / marketing agency in Pontiac, Michigan, and he's right where the Dream Cruise turns around. And he's like, you guys should come out and hang out. And he's like, where they do it in Pontiac, he's like, there's people always doing burnouts and stuff. So I'm like, I'm ready to go. So I think I might try to do that this next year, go hang out at Driveline Studios there in Pontiac, Michigan, and check out the Woodward Dream Cruise. Okay, the last thing I want to do, there's two things I want to do last, but I'm only going to do one. I'll briefly do the other one. Another way to get shine therapy is to wax a classic car like this, okay? And this is the Americana paste wax. So it has an applicator in it. You just take this, rub it on the surface so you get a nice even layer. And this one, I'm gonna crosshatch, but I'm gonna go in like shorter motions, kind of like this. And if you can see on here, I put it on kind of thick. I probably want to thin this out a little bit. So when I say thin this out, I'm gonna get it spread out a little bit. I'm gonna go over this one more time. I just thinned it out a little bit more, and then I'll just move up here. Again, Americana Paste Wax has been in the Adams Polishes line since I've started working here. And actually, you know what's funny is one of the things that people do with their Americana Paste Wax is when they're not using it, they will actually put it in their freezer to keep the wax nice and hard. Don't do what I did. I just got it in the nook and cranny of the D and 4. That's a total amateur move. But listen, I definitely make mistakes as well when I do this stuff.
Bankrupt 520 says graphene liquid wax is awesome stuff too.
Graphene liquid wax is good. You know, the thing about graphene liquid wax is we had so many requests after people putting on ceramic coatings and graphene ceramic coatings, they still wanted to wax their car. So we made this graphene liquid wax, and it has the reduced graphene oxide in it and some silica added to it. So that graphene liquid wax will actually adhere to a ceramic coating, whereas like this Americana paste wax, it's not going to adhere to this. So same thing like glaze, like Brilliant Glaze. I want to let this haze over before I wipe it off. Because if I start wiping it off now, like I'll just show you. If I move it, it kind of smears it a little bit. That actually did pretty good. But if you put it on too thick, it will just kind of smear around. You'll move it all around, and it takes 3 times as long to wipe it off. So letting the solvent kind of come out of it a little bit is gonna make it a lot easier to wipe off. Like this is, I put this on really thin right here. You can see it's already starting to haze over versus like over here it still looks like Vaseline. That's not ready, but this is. So if Teddy focuses over here, I'll swipe my finger again. Again, don't do this because you can scratch your car. But you can see the paste wax is like nice and on there. If I take the plush towel and I go over it, it's just like a couple wipes and boom, it's like that. And you know what? There's something about wax that just, I don't know, it like, I feel like I can like reach in and grab it. It just looks so good. Talking about shine therapy, this is like ridiculous. Okay, yeah, we can, Chris. Chris can ask, yes, you can ask a question.
Valentium says, was just wondering how long does graphene glass coating last, and do the windshield wipers or wiper fluid degrade it?
That's a good question. Who asked that? Valentium? Valentium. It's a good question. So Valentium asked, how long does the graphene glass coating last? And does the wiper blades and windshield washer fluid degrade the coating? You know, I would say it lasts depending on where you live and how much rain and snow you get. So in Colorado, I'd probably give it, 6 to 8 months. In a place like Southern California where the weather's pretty good year round, you're looking at more like 8 months to a year, maybe 10 months to a year. And the second part of that question is yes and yes. Your wiper blades and your windshield wiper fluid will slowly degrade it. Not super, super fast, but, and that's the reason why I say like in a place like Colorado where you get snow and rain, you're using your wiper blades more and you're using your windshield washer fluid more. Like I personally, when it's raining in Colorado, I rarely use my windshield washer fluid and my windshield wiper blades because the glass coating just makes the water fly off. I don't even need the wiper blades. But in the winter, to quickly defrost the very thin layer of ice on my windshield, I use the windshield wiper fluid because it's like a de-icer. And so I end up using it more, and because I use my windshield wiper fluid, it auto runs my wiper blades, So in Colorado, for me, the glass coating lasts closer to like 6 months, 6 to 8 months. So the more you use your wiper blades, the more you use your windshield washer fluid, it's gonna go away a little bit faster. Whereas if you're not using it as much, it's gonna last a lot longer. Okay, there's wax. That looks really freaking good. Like I am, you know, for lack of a better term, I'm jazzed about that, all right? I'm fired up. What's the term you say, Teddy? When something's like really good? I don't know. Teddy has all these like skater terms I can't keep up with. Okay, the last thing I would do is take tire and rubber cleaner, spray it onto an edgeless utility towel like this, and I would clean the tires really fast because there is actually old tire dressing on here. You can actually, like if I wipe this right, it's like black on my thumb. So take tire and rubber cleaner, and I want to remove the old tire dressing because if I don't remove the old tire dressing, it's going to cake up and become really hard to remove. So you can see it on there. It's going to become really hard to remove. And what old tire dressing does is it oxidizes brown. So then it's going to turn more brown than you want. And then it's, you know, then you have to go over it multiple times rather than just keeping up with it consistently. So shouldn't take very long. I'm just trying to get it to where I can see that the tire dressing's off and I can feel it. So there's still a little bit more like right here. I didn't really get good coverage over here. So, and I'll be honest, sometimes when you wipe it off like this with the edgeless utility towel, it makes the tires look amazing. You know, that feels much better. That feels like just the rubber now. But that looks really, really good, you know? And then what I would do is take VRT or graphene VRT, either one. The graphene VRT is gonna last a little bit longer. Shake this up. Put just a little bit. Maybe that's not a little bit. A little bit more than a little bit, okay? I like to work it into the applicator. This is the Pro Tire Hex Grip, which is really nice because you put the tire dressing on here and you have the nice hex grip, but where this foam connects to this foam, there's a glue line that goes across the whole thing. So the tire shine or tire dressing or whatever you're using doesn't seep in and get all over your hands. Then I'll just take the VRT and apply it here. And what you're gonna notice is it doesn't look all that different from after I wiped the tire and rubber cleaner. But what it is gonna look is super consistent. So VRT is not a shiny product, but it enriches the color. So the black color stands out a little bit more, and it's way more even when you apply it with the applicator. So, I mean, goodness gracious. From the metal polishing of the wheel to cleaning the tire and putting VRT on, that's what this car deserves. And I'm sure Teddy could show you the rear driver's side wheel and how inconsistent the tire looks and the wheel as well versus, you know, it's weird. The color of this front wheel even changed too. It's more of a clear metal / silver. So that looks really good. You can't tell me that doesn't look good, Teddy.
It looks like way shinier than the other one.
It looks different, right?
Yeah.
But it also requires doing both. If you don't do both, it's like, I don't want to say like wasted energy, but like how even and rich the black color is makes the metal and silver shine more. You know, it's like there's a contrast to it, you know, so. Yeah, exactly, that's what Chris said, it complements each other. Okay, Chris, let's do the giveaway. Hopefully everyone's on here. We'll give you guys some time to claim the giveaway. And if you don't, should we like put a timestamp on it? If you don't claim it in 2 minutes, we're gonna pick someone else because they bailed on the live? Or is everyone on there?
I think most of them are still on.
I think everyone's on there. Let's just go for it. Who cares? We just need your email. So if you can't give us your email, then it's going to be hard for us to get you the gift card. So.
And I'm going to put their YouTube profile picture up for each person that we selected.
Okay, cool.
So it'll be on screen.
Okay, Chris is going to put it on screen for you guys too. And listen, what you're going to do is you're going to email, if you won, you're going to email joe@adamspolishes.com, and then I will work with Tyler to get you the gift card. But Chris will announce whoever the YouTube person is. He'll put it up on the screen, and then just comment your email address in the comments, and then Chris can also screenshot that on his computer, and then we'll know. But just email me.
Okay.
Go, first person.
First is Rodney S.
Rodney S. is the first person, and I know Rodney's on here all the time. So, dude, congrats, Rodney. You got a $50 gift card from Adams Polishes. It'll hit your inbox here in roughly an hour, I would say. Okay, who's the second person? Yeah, Rodney.
Second person is Ken Wilson.
Huh?
Ken Wilson.
Ken Wilson. Let's go, Ken. Dude, Ken has a beautiful black Toyota Tacoma. He actually was featured on a live, like, was it last year maybe? He was out here driving through Colorado. Congrats, Ken. You got a $50 gift card. That's money. I love that. Go ahead.
Next is Chester Thomas.
Okay, Chester Thomas, you got the $50 gift card. Dude, Chris is picking the OGs on here. Chester is always first on the live and in the live chat. He's like the first person that's there, and then he like says hi to everybody. Congrats, Chester. Listen, you can stock up more on washing stuff since you wash once a day, not once a week.
And the next is Silverado Towel or T182.
Okay, that's the fourth winner. Silverado Tel or T182, you said?
Yep.
Silverado Tel or T182. You got the fourth $50 gift card. Congrats, and good questions today. Last person.
Last is Awesome Guy at 77.
All right, last is Awesome Guy at 77. And Awesome Guy had a good question today as well, so well done. Chris, it looks like Chris picked people who are here consistently and people that got involved in the comments, so that's really cool. Well done, Chris. If you're upset about not winning, get mad at me, not Chris, okay? All right, well, yeah, for the 5 people that won, put your email in there. And then we'll send you the gift card into your inbox. And listen, we're probably not going to do the live next week because is Christmas on Wednesday? Let's check. Might be Christmas. It's Christmas Eve, so I won't even be here. I'm going to be heading to my parents for Christmas Eve. My dad's making steak, homemade ravioli, and salmon. So pretty fired up for that. It's going to be really awesome. But it's all just nice being with family during the holidays. And I hope everyone here gets to spend time with your family. Hope you guys have a great holiday. We won't be here live next week, maybe the week after, but if I don't see you guys, have a great holiday, great Christmas, great Hanukkah, Teddy. And also have a great New Year as well. So hope to see you guys on the next live. But listen, I'm very thankful for everybody that comes on here and hangs out with us. It gives me something to do every week, and I love doing it. And I think doing it live, it challenges me, challenges the team. It also challenges you guys to ask good questions. So I love collaborating with you guys throughout all this stuff, helping you guys learn some stuff. There's even some stuff that I've learned as well. So thank you guys so much. Hope you have a great holiday, and I will see you on the next